All right, I am Brian Hendricks, and we are going to be dissecting the sheep brain today and naming a bunch of nerves and parts of the brain. As you can see, I don't have any other helping materials. The only thing on my laptop is a list of the things I need to name out of the brain. So we will go ahead and get started. We're going to start with the cerebrum, which is the main gray matter of the brain. Right here you have the cerebellum. This is the vermis of the cerebellum, and these are the lateral hemispheres of the cerebellum. You also have the gyri, or gyrus is the plural for all the different lobes on the cerebrum, and the grooves are the sulcus, or sulci, I think is the plural. So we went over the cerebrum, the sulcus, the gyrus, and almost forgot, I already have it cut open. The longitudinal cerebral fissure is that line right there that separates the right and left hemispheres of the brain, as well as the lateral hemispheres of the cerebellum, and it splits the vermis. Once we are inside, well, let's actually go over the outer stuff. So the very outer layer, which is kind of hard to see, is dura mater. It's this little coating that protects the brain and is in between the skull and the brain. And then under that, which you can't really see, I think, unless you're under a microscope, is the arachnoid. And then the pia mater is at the bottom. I gotta use the mouse room. For the midbrain, it's easier to see it from the bottom. We got the midbrain, the pons, and the medulla, and then the brain stem. With the brain stem, you have the dorsal roots, which I don't think you can really see, but they would be here on top, and the ventral roots, which would be there on the bottom of the brain stem. Now we'll get into the nerves. So here you have the olfactory nerves, which is housed in the olfactory bulbs, which is where we get our sense of smell. You then have the optic nerves, the optic chiasm, which is kind of what connects the two optic nerves, and then the optic tracts, which run down here. The chiasm being this middle meaty part there of the optic part. From there, you've got the oculomotor nerves, which would be at the head of the medulla, which you can't see in here, can't see on this brain, or I can't anyway, maybe if I knew exactly. Anyway, then you have the trochlear nerves, which would be here. And then you have the abducens, which you also can't see, but they are really small nerves there at the base. Oh, and sorry, the oculomotor would be up here, trochlear would be here, and the trigeminal would be here. Abducens being at the base of the pons. Now we'll get into the brain. So you've got the cerebral aqueduct, which is right here. You got the cerebral pundicle, which is right here. You have the superior and inferior colicus. You have, as I think I already mentioned, but just in case, the pons and the medulla. You have the lateral ventricle right here. The fourth ventricle is right under the cerebellum, and the cerebral aqueduct is right there. You have the thalamus and the hypothalamus and the pituitary gland. You have the septum pellucidum, the corpus callosum. I already said third ventricle runs above the thalamus. The fourth ventricle, already said. Cerebral aqueduct. Arbor vitae is the white matter within the cerebellum, a tree-like structure. And then within the spinal cord, you would have the white and gray matter. It's hard to see. The gray matter would be kind of the meat of it. Right in the middle would be the white matter, which is not exactly easy to see. All right, let me go through my list. Make sure that I hit everything I was supposed to. I think I missed the choroid plexus, but honestly I don't remember where that's at, so I'm not going to try to point it out. I did all the nerves, the olfactory bulbs, pituitary gland, all the layers of matter that cover the brain, the cerebral pundicle, superior and inferior colicus. Yep, all right. I think I got everything except that choroid plexus, which I do not remember where it's at. So I'll see you next time.